Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I've got for you a video on the Bourrasque. And the reason for this video is, firstly, I had this really good game this morning, so I was like, ooh, bonus. And secondly, because the Bourrasque has been on sale for the past couple of days, I think, so a lot of new people will have this tank. And if you've just got it and you're not really sure how to play it or what to do with it, I thought I'd make a video kind of giving advice on how to play the tank and kind of how to set it up as well, because I've recently made a change to how my Bourrasque is set up, and I'm finding it to be a lot better. Well, I say a lot better, a lot more, it does a lot more damage. It's a better damage dealer. So the Bourrasque obviously is quite unique in the fact that it has, well, unique for now until the Czechoslovakian heavies, it's one of the few tanks in the game that has a 2-shot autoloader. It's a pretty quick tank. It's almost like a medium-light hybrid kind of thing. It's very quick. It's got good camo rating. It's got really good view range, everything like that. So traditionally, I set the Bourrasque up for the first, 400 games that I played in it. That's up to very recently. I played it as a, medium light hybrid, so set up for spotting and things like that, with a little bit of damage dealing on the side. So I think I set it up, obviously because it's an autoloader, you can't use gun rammer. I used vert stabs, optics, and then vents in the specialized slots, so you get a slight bonus effect from the vents. This gave me, with a 5-skill crew, your brothers in arms, all of the bells and whistles, recon, situational awareness, it gave me nearly 500 meters view range, which is quite excessive, and it's definitely a way that you can play this tank. If you want to play it like a light, kind of, use the camo rating, set it up entirely for camo and view range, you can really use this thing as quite an effective scout. Obviously, the fact that it's a medium tank means that you don't have your improved camo rating on the move that light tanks do, that the class of light tanks have. However, it's still a very, very good tank for spotting, 500 meters view range, and it still has really good camo. You can do a lot. Now, how I've actually changed to set this thing up more recently, and I would recommend probably for the first however many games you play in the Bourrasque, I would recommend probably set it up how I used to. So use optics, use vert stabs, use vents and that. Because something about the Bourrasque that I haven't mentioned is the accuracy and the aim time, and the gun handling in general. The dispersions, not the dispersion, so the dispersions, that's how big the aim circle gets when you're moving, when you're traversing the turret, when you're traversing the hull of the tank, everything like that. Actually, they're really good. As you probably noticed, the aim circle doesn't get that much bigger as I'm moving around the battlefield. It stays relatively small. However, the thing is that this thing has one of the worst accuracies and worst aim times in the game, which means that you're moving around and the aim circle is relatively small, but when you stop and actually aim, it doesn't get much better. So what I've done is I've swapped out coated optics for the improved aiming module. I don't know if it's called improved aiming or what. I can't actually remember what it's called. And this is actually a poor time to say this because I just missed 2 shots in the eyes too. But I've noticed that it's massively improved how many shells I've been hitting. I've noticed probably, obviously this isn't actual statistics because I haven't kept track of it, but I would say I'm probably hitting maybe 15 to 20, maybe 25% more shells since having the improved aiming. If not, maybe even more than that. But I don't know if part of that is just a placebo effect of me kind of being like, well, I'm hitting more shells because, I'm thinking about hitting more shells. But yeah, it's really improved how I'm able to handle the vehicle, how I'm able to do damage. And yeah, it's just something that I thought is definitely there as an option of how to play the Bourrasque, and I think it's something that from now on I'm actually going to do more. And I'm just about to hit level 100 on the battle pass, which actually means I'm about to get my next set of bounty equipment, and I'm going to use the bounty aiming, one of the new equipment modules for this Battle Pass season on the Bourrasque to actually try to get that aim, that accuracy down even better, because it's not the dispersions. Like I said, it's not whilst you're on the move. As you just saw there, I killed the IS whilst moving, and you can fire shots on the move in the Bourrasque, and you hit, I would say arguably, you hit just as many shots on the move as you do when fully aimed, pretty much. So it's all about getting that, when you do actually need to aim at something, getting that aim circle as small as possible. And in my old configuration, so with the optics and everything like that, my dispersion, so my accuracy, was 0.37. I can't remember off the top of my head what it starts at. Obviously, you can look it up. But in this new configuration, it's 0.35. That's before I've used the bounty version of the equipment module, and I'm going to put bounty vents on this thing as well at some point, so it'll probably get even better. So that will turn the Bourrasque not into a sniper. By no means is it going to be a sniper, but it will be now average accuracy. And it's something that I've always said, that the thing, I think the Bourrasque is insanely good, and I think the thing that makes it so good, all the things that make it so good are only balanced by the fact that, you know, you miss pretty much half the shots you fire. So giving it half decent accuracy is making it just absolutely ridiculous, and it's definitely something that I would recommend to everyone to at least try. If you don't like it, or if you play it more as like a scout hybrid, then obviously I wouldn't recommend it, or try it and then go back. But it's definitely something that works incredibly well. Anyway, I've just paused the replay here because I actually wanted to talk about the game as well, but as per usual, I've started waffling on about all kinds of other stuff. So we're on steps, as you can see, if you haven't noticed by now. It was a tier 987 game, so pretty much average game for a Bourrasque. And I've done 3,600 damage so far, 1,776 spotting. We're in the end game situation now. There is a Bourrasque and an IS-2 left on the enemy team. I'm on 352 hit points, which means I'm one shot for everything. So I'm letting the rest of my team know that, guys, you need to use your hit points. And I love playing this game because the Scorpion actually goes, yeah, you're right, we do. Usually, like, you know, lightly armored tank destroyers, players, not always, obviously not always, it gets to the end of the game and they're still on full health, and it's like, well, I'm a lightly armored tank destroyer, so I'm not going to be the one to push in. But it's situations like this where you need to push in. Like the WT Alf Panzer IV, he can take, you know, a clip from the Bourrasque and an HE round from the IS-2 and still be alive. The Scorpion can take a clip from the Bourrasque, and I can't maths it quite quick enough, but I believe an average roll from the IS-2 as well. So, you know, he needs to push him. However, you can't let people push him by themselves. And as I said in chat, I put, I'll come with. You need to make sure that you stay close. Let them get spotted first. I was looking up the top. I clearly know that there's nobody up there. Try and fire a shot on the move at the Bourrasque. Unfortunately, don't hit it. But he comes up into a position because I get spotted. And fire. Again, kind of half-aimed. But half-aimed in the Bourrasque is still pretty much as good as you're going to get. But, yeah, this game went just incredibly well. But it's something that I would definitely recommend on the Bourrasque. The way to play the Bourrasque is as an assassin. You go in, you put... You just saw there, IS-2 just fired. This is a perfect example, and this is pretty much what I've been doing all game. Saw the IS-2 fire, put one shot, two shots, do approximately 700 damage, use your mobility and your speed to get the hell out of dodge and get out of there. And because you've got that like 700 alpha, but you can unload it in 2 seconds. I was saying this on stream the other day. It's the perfect combination. The Bourrasque's gun is possibly one of the best guns at tier 8 in terms of damage dealing potential, and I find I can have really good games quite consistently in it when it comes to damage, because you've got that combination of, like, it's an autoloader, but it's got a low amount of shells, so the general clip reload isn't that long. So if you fire one and it misses, and then you've got like 10 seconds or 20 seconds to get out of the fight, you're already pretty much reloaded again by the time the next time you get into the fight. It's not like the 5100, the G-Saw, the T77, as I've got a video coming out on that soon, where you hit reload and, you know, you have to rely on teammates for however long. The Bourrasque, you can use your mobility to run away for long enough to be able to reload again, or you can play chasey, catchy, kissy round a rock for 19 seconds to reload, which is really nice. And also, it's the fact, because it's only a 2-shot autoloader, it only takes 2 seconds to unload that clip. 2 seconds, even on tanks with the fastest like turret traverse and track traverse. If they're facing completely the other way, by the time they realise that you've shot them and where you've shot them from, you've got both shots in and you can start to be running. With most other autoloaders, you're still pumping shells in at the time they shoot you. And the Bourrasque is one of those tanks that you can get your whole clip off, usually, or in most situations, for not taking any damage in return, which I don't think there are many other autoloaders. The EBR-75 is another example of it, but there aren't many other autoloaders really in the game that you can pretty much, well, most of the time, put your whole clip in and get away with it for free. And that's what makes this thing so strong, obviously combined with the rest of the tank. So the best way to play this tank is obviously as an assassin, get in, get out. And that's why I'm slowly starting to shift away from the more scouty role. Oh, well, I say the more scouty role. I was never playing it as a scouty role. I was just playing it as a damage dealer. But trying to refine the gun as much as I can to make it as accurate as possible. So I have to stay there for as little time as possible, and I can maximize the amount of damage I do by using the new aiming module and everything like that. And it's, so far, it's working very, very well. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now because I don't want this to turn into like a half an hour video. So, if you're new to the channel, please make sure you're subscribed, got notifications turned on. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it so far. Give it a dislike if you don't like the video. And let's go take a look at the post-game stats. So, there we go, guys. In the end, we actually managed to do 5k damage. I think I hit a blind shot. I think it was on the Bulldog at the very start. I don't know if you noticed. Obviously, I was talking about other things at that point. But I blind fired where a tree fell down. And I think that's what I hit at the start, because I don't remember hitting the Bulldog at any other point. We did 5,024 damage. 2,221 assisted damage. So, that's like a 7.2k combined game. Very, very nice. And got 3 kills as well. We got a Confederate, high caliber, and a tank sniper, which for people who have played the Bourrasque before will tell you that's impressive. Like, not a lot of it doesn't hit shots reliably enough for that. But again, with this new setup, as I've put here, it's definitely working out for me. Like, it's really, really working well. 5,000 damage, 1,600 base XP, very, very nice. Obviously, ace tanker as well, I don't think I mentioned that. Shout out to that Scorpion who actually at the end was, like, listened to what I said, and was, like, actually pushed in, because otherwise that could have become a very long and drawn-out game if we were waiting the whole time for them to push, because I couldn't push in, I was a one-shot. It's a Bourrasque, it's not even like I could, the enemies had a Bourrasque, it's not even like I could be like, well, I could, you know, low-roll his one-shot and then kill him. It's like he's got a second shot, and the IS-2 as well can obviously kill me in one shot unless he low rolls massively. But still, pretty good game. Fired 19, hit 17, penned 15. Again, really, really good. And I couldn't see myself, unless I had a serious amount of luck, hitting that amount of shots with my old Bourrasque setup. And it's something that I'm finding myself a lot more consistently having the hit ratios be higher, whether I'm penning or not, obviously, because the Bourrasque has quite low pen. It's something that I haven't mentioned, but yeah, it's quite low. So you're not going to pen every shot still, but you know, hitting more shots allows you more chance of penning them, because you don't pen 100% of the shots that you miss. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, and obviously decent amount of credits as well, because you know it is the Bourrasque. But yeah, that is all she wrote for this video. Like I said before, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing and you have got notifications turned on. I have done a Bourrasque tank review before, so if you want to see a bit more in-depth about the Bourrasque, there's another ace tanker gameplay over there and everything like that. I will put a link in the description, as long as Future Max remembers. And yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.